The Denver Broncos just played in their third and final preseason game of the year. And in this game, there was a couple of guys who really stood out, in my opinion, in terms of positioning themselves to be factors on this team going into next season. And one of the guys is Q Robinson, number 51 here. I believe he was drafted in the 4th round of this year's NFL draft. And what I wanted to do was kind of break down why I believe he will be a factor on this team. Maybe not on day one, but at some point this season, I think he's going to get implemented into this defense at a high and play at a high level. So right here, the defense comes out right in a double mug look, and essentially what that means is we are stacking 2 linebackers over that A gap, applying pressure. Now, offensive lines are taught to get the closest player to the quarterback. So if they were to blitz this guy, right, they would prefer to take everyone up the middle first, because that would buy the quarterback a little bit more time before that guy's able to get there. However, they're obviously in man coverage here, and we're going to send Q Robinson off this edge. Going to get a one-on-one opportunity here, and watch this. Once they motion that guy out, things kind of clear up a little bit. That A gap becomes a little bit less of a worry for the offensive line because he comes out. And then watch this one-on-one. The offensive line is in a gap protection. They're sliding to this left side, which means you have man-to-man to the right. Now, Q Robinson is a guy that wants to utilize space and his speed to get around the edge. So as he does that, right, watch him hook his arm up, get underneath the shoulder pad of the tackle, and kind of just power and over speed him, right? He's too quick, and then ends up forcing a fumble here, and the defense picks it up. Okay, because he is so fast, because he can utilize that speed off the edge, they like to line him up in 5 technique or 7 technique or 9 techniques, just because they like to utilize the speed. And right here, he's more of a 7 technique inside the tight end, and just does a great job utilizing that space, hooks under, gets around the edge for a forced fumble and a turnover, and that is huge. Now, in this game specifically, was the highest graded player off the edge when it came to getting to the quarterback. Now, we have to keep in mind, he only played in about 26 snaps. Okay, so we're going to look at these snaps. We're going to see how he did, and we're going to break down a ton of film. Hit the like button, subscribe. Let's dive in. Now, I'm also not a type of person that's going to sit here and show you all of the sunshine and rainbows. I do want to show you some of the times when he gets beat, and he's not really a guy that's going to fare well in coverage for the most part. He does have some potential in coverage, do not get me wrong at all. And in the first game versus San Francisco, he actually was amazing in coverage game. So he does have a little bit of versatility, but there is plenty of room to grow. And in this game, he did get targeted a couple of times in coverage. Right here is dropping back into more of like a flat. Now, as that happens, right, obviously, if there's no one on this side of the field, we're not going to go into the flat. We're going to go to where the tight end is going, or the running back, whatever it may be, right? So he starts to follow the tight end, and he's on a zig route where he gets right back outside, gets beat for maybe a 10-yard pickup here, which is not the end of the world, right? But essentially, you get beat for 10 yards, you get beat for 10 yards, right? But again, I was really a fan of him when it came to rushing the quarterback. I thought he was amazing. So let's kind of deep dive into those plays. Let me show you a little bit more of that. All right, another really good rep here by Q Robinson. Now, he's going to get a one-on-one opportunity. Offensive line is going to be in another scat, or actually more of a full slide, because they're working off the play action. But we are going to get another one-on-one matchup here to the outside with Q Robinson. We're going to see him use his strong arm, and he's going to extend it and rip through. Watch how strong this dude is, just one arm. So again, as he gets this, he's going to set that edge if it is a run. Since we know it's not, look at him disengage with the left. He's going to keep that right arm fully extended, keeping that leverage, all right, the entire time. And then once he sees the quarterback still have the ball, he's going to rip through, throw that guy to the side. And again, obviously, quarterback gets the ball out pretty early there. But these are the traits that we like to see. We want to see him be able to disengage from these blocks very quickly. And I feel like, look at how strong this dude is. I love how he is able to generate that extended arm and keep it there, right? That is pure man strength right there. Gets right around the edge. Good rep. Ultimately, they force his ball to come out just a little bit early. ends up being an incompletion. A good job there by Damari Mathis. Again, man, I'm all in on Q Robinson. I think he has the traits to become a really good edge rusher in the NFL. And I think he's really starting to utilize some of those traits during these games. All right, really quickly, before we deep dive any further into the video, guys, do me a big favor. Hit that like button if you haven't already done so yet. Helps out the channel so much you don't even understand. But also, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel as well. It is completely free. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe. And we'll be covering the Broncos throughout the entirety of not only the season, but the off season as well. And during the season, we're going to be covering offensive film, defensive film, and individual player breakdown. Now, once the season does actually begin, you're going to see a lot more offensive film team analysis and a lot more defensive film team perspective, right? But if certain guys start to break out and look really good, we will do an individual film on this channel and my second channel, Matty Dub's NFL Film. You guys can go check that out if you want to as well. Turn on those post notifications, that way you're notified when we do post a video. And with that being said, let's dive in. So here's another one-on-one rep here with this right tackle. Now, we've seen him use the speed, we've seen him use the bend around the edge. Now we get to see him utilize the power a little bit, right? And because we're able to line up as that 5 technique, have that space, and we can get a little bit of drive to that tackle, right? So as he comes in strong, uses that right arm to power through and drives this guy back, what, 4 yards here? Let's see, off the contact, 1, 2, 3 yards. Drives him back 3 yards into the backside of the quarterback here. Very impressive move here. Not sure who this right tackle is, but it seems like Q Robinson did a really good job every single rep he could to get a little bit of pressure on that tackle. Really good rep here, man. Very, very impressed with this. Now, throughout the preseason thus far, he had 2 really good games when it came to pass rushing. He had one really good game when it came to tackling. Actually, in that second game versus Arizona, he had 4 total pressures on the quarterback. So maybe if you guys want a part 2, let me know, and I'll drop another video breaking down that second game versus Arizona. Let me know if you guys want to see that. Another interesting play again. Another one-on-one opportunity with this right tackle. They do get like a 14-15 yard completion on this play. Watch him get outside leverage and then bounce back inside using that extended arm strength to kind of rip through. Now, ultimately, quarterback, I mean, the Saints felt like they had a game plan to get the ball out super early and not really allow the Denver Broncos to generate a pass rush on the quarterback. They were really focused on quick throws early and often. That's what they did throughout the entirety of this game. But right here, Q Robinson almost gets his hand on this football, and we'll actually go through and watch this from the other angle. So get a little bit better here on the left side of our screen. Again, watch him initiate outside like he's going to use that speed. But once that tackle overcommits all that power onto that right foot, he bounces inside and again almost gets his hand on that football. I mean, he was super close. So another good rep there by Q Robinson. Again, be instinctual, keeping his eyes on the quarterback and being able to almost tip that thing. Super impressive. One of my favorite plays of the day by Q Robinson outside of that sack force fumble was right here. Another one-on-one opportunity. The offensive line is going to be in what we call 5-man scat. They're sliding to the right, man-to-man to the left, very vanilla. But as we get this outside leverage, look at this. Running back kind of protects that AB gap, and we're attacking that C gap. We're trying to get to the outside shoulder of this tackle and watch him utilize not only the speed to get there early, but also the power to drive this guy back into the front side of the quarterback, and then while being held. Hey, by the way, come on, ref. We're going to watch this from the other angle, but this looks like a hold all day long. Right here. Look at that, ref. What is this? What is this, ref? That looks like a hold to me, but ultimately gets held out of another sack. This should have been his second sack of the game here. And again, let's go through the other angle. Let me show you why this is a hold all day long. Let's get over here. Okay, so boom, gets to the outside, uses that strong arm, pushes back, drives him back, and can't really see, but we can see right here. Look at that. You guys tell me, is that not a hold all day long? I don't know. You guys tell me. But ultimately, should have had 2 sacks in this game. The man is all over the place. So very excited about his growth as a player, and I think he's only going to get better from here. The Denver Broncos have a ton of depth as edge rushers. This guy fits right into what they want to do. So hit the like button, subscribe, join the family, and I'll see you guys in the next update. So who you want me to break down next?